Welcome back. 1 month ago today, Customs and Border Patrol agents shot and killed Alex Preddy in Minneapolis. The video of the incident made waves across the country, and soon after, the Trump administration announced they were reducing the number of federal agents in the city. While on Capitol Hill this afternoon, we got a chance to speak with Minneapolis area Representatives Illhan Omar, Angie Craig, and Betty McCollum. Their districts all border each other. We are joined by three Democratic congresswomen from the Minneapolis area. Your districts all border each other. Thank you so much on this busy day for giving us this time. We're hearing that in the Minneapolis area, there are reports that there are drawdowns in the wake of the deaths of Renee Good and Alex Preddy. What's the reality on the ground as you all see it?
Well, Congresswoman Omar and I were at the Whipple Federal Building just on Friday, and it does appear that they are drawing down at this moment, somewhere just under 500, as opposed to the 3,000 surge. But, you know, we're not going to be satisfied, and the people of Minnesota aren't going to be satisfied until they are completely out of Minnesota.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, they tell us the numbers are down. They're telling us that they're not doing the mass raids with the paramilitary force, but the reality of what we're hearing from our constituent is very different. We're hearing that they're still staging in front of schools. We're hearing that they're still pulling people over. We're hearing that they're still doing the random raids without identifying the person that they're looking for. And so the terror is still there. People are still afraid to come out of their homes, to go to school, to go to work, and to even go shopping.
What would you all like to hear from President Trump tonight with regard to ICE?
Well, I would like to hear that he is willing to sit down and seriously negotiate what we've been asking for in the Department of Homeland Security bill, and that is for federal law enforcement, ICE and Customs and Border, to serve at the same standards our local, our sheriffs, our state patrol, and the way that the FBI even conducts itself. It's not the way in which ICE and CBC has conducted itself. Ilhan's right. People don't feel safe. They're still harassing constitutional observers who are just asking, as they arrest somebody, what's your name, so we can figure out who you are, where you're going to be, and we can make sure you're safe.
Do you all give Tom Homan any credit for improving the situation on the ground?
Well, we haven't seen an actual improvement. We've been told that there is a drawdown, but people are still observing mass numbers of agents still out in the field. We've been told that there's going to be a visibility of badge numbers, that there isn't going to be random stops of profiling, but we're still getting reports from our constituents that that's still happening. And so we are always willing to give credit when there's credit due, and until we are able to see the terror fully end for our constituents, it is hard for us to say that he's done a great job.
Tom Homan came in. Certainly, things have improved from murdering the citizens of Minnesota every weekend, but as long as ICE is still there and still operating on the streets with many of the tactics, including racial profiling, then Minnesota is not going to accept that this is over.
President Trump has now imposed this 15% global tariff after the Supreme Court rebuked his tariff and struck it down. It's my understanding that Target is headquartered actually in your district. Are you all of the mind that Target should seek repayment and perhaps pass along that money to consumers?
Well, it was really interesting because the governor of Illinois actually sent him a receipt of
a bill.
The cost occurred. And I do believe our governor should do the same. And I think everybody should that have been unlawfully impacted by the president's tariffs. Look, we represent a border state. Minnesota has about $22 billion in trade with Canada.
Yeah.
We understand the economic impact of what that looks like. And every single day, whether you are in the Twin Cities or you represent, you know, a more rural part of Minnesota, we're hearing from our constituents, young and old, about how this president, his economic policies are detrimental to them having an affordable life.
But there's so many small businesses.
Right.
Small businesses get impacted twice with their family and then with their employees and then with their tariffs. So we've really, you just pile on the surge on top of it. And, we're not going to change what we do standing up for our neighbors, standing up for justice, but we've taken it and we've taken a really strong hit on our state economy, and our legislators trying to deal with it right now.
There are a number of female Republicans in the House who have come out demanding the resignation of Congressman Tony Gonzalez from Texas with regard to some allegations that he had an affair with a staffer who then died by suicide. Do you all agree that he should step down?
It is undignified for a member of Congress to conduct themselves that way with their staffers and with anyone in just to be honest. So good on them for the Republican woman for standing strong and calling for his resignation.
Yeah, and the Ethics Committee should be doing something in an expedited fashion.
I'm glad my Republican colleagues are calling for his resignation, but he ought to just resign, because this is not the kind of behavior that we should be seeing from members of Congress or from this administration.
Congresswomen, we thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.